you don't lose ambition. You just enter a phase where nothing feels like working. So I saw it necessary to talk about this topic because usually when someone is in this phase, they don't know what to do, right? To navigate it. This is why today we'll be talking about the quiet phase of ambition that no one talks about. But before we get into this amazing topic, let me first introduce myself to my newcomers and say, welcome. My name is Zola Rams, the founder of Dreamers Elevation Network. This is a place where we teach you how to use your skills and your passion and help you turn them into a profitable business. Welcome, family. Let us dive in together on today's topic. You might be wondering, what is wrong with my voice? I have flu, guys, so don't mind my husky voice, just focus on the message and not on the voice, right? Yes, so the stages that I'm gonna be talking about today are going to help you a lot because if you identify with any of them, just note of something that I will say that you can use at the end of every stage that I'll be talking about, right? So the first stage is when motivation fades. Usually, when we start anything new, right? We start with a lot of excitement, things are good, you feel so powered of that. Oh my god, I'm gonna achieve this, like this energy that is, coming out of you, right? When you start a particular thing. But at some point, you reach this phase where now motivation fades, right? And it's a very difficult stage because even though motivation fades, you still have to continue with the dream, with the goal that you said you wanted to achieve. Not fair, right? But that is just how things are, right? So now it's a moment where now you don't feel excited, you don't feel driven, you don't feel powered up to wake up in the morning and actually do what needs to be done. It just doesn't feel that way anymore, right? When you're in this phase, I want you to understand that most of the time, growth is not powered by motivation, it is powered by decision. This is a moment where now, every single morning, you have to decide to continue on and work on that particular thing that you say you want. Remember, when you're in this phase, it doesn't mean that you don't want the goal anymore. You want the goal, but the feeling of excitement attached to the goal when you started is now missing. This is why you feel this way, right? Now, the second stage is when there is no recognition. Like there are no applause in this moment. You're giving it your all, you're waking up in the morning, you're making the decision to do what needs to be done, and yet no one seems to recognize your efforts. No one seems to see what you're doing. They don't applaud you, there's no encouragement, literally there's nothing, it's just pure silence. Just you waking up in the morning, doing what needs to be done, going to bed, repeating that very same thing every single day, right? When now you are in this moment, I want you to understand that this silence doesn't mean that nothing is happening. Even though on the outside there are no results, it doesn't mean that you are not building internally. Something is happening, even though you also don't feel it, but something is definitely happening on the inside, right? This is where they really say that building in silence. It doesn't really mean like it's quiet and no one is saying anything. It is silent, like in a silent room. No, it means that this is a moment where you keep on grinding and you don't see anything, and people don't see anything, like you just keep on doing, and nothing is really happening. But then again, it doesn't mean that you need to or you should give up in this moment. Remember this: when you are planting something, you first have to put that seed in soil, right? Is it the right word? English is leaving me now. So when you're planting something, you're going to sow the seed, right? And you consistently water that seed, fertilize the area, remove the weeds, and yet you don't see anything happening, but you keep watering and watering and watering in that silent moment, or in that silent phase of watering and fertilizing. When you don't see anything, the roots are slowly coming out, right? getting down in the soil, going deep, deep, deep to get the water and the other nutrients that are necessary. You don't see it. The person who has sowed the plant, right, the seed, you don't see it, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening. It's the same with what you're experiencing. You are watering that dream, you're watering that goal or that vision. You're not seeing anything happening, but the roots are coming out. The roots are coming out. So don't give up while you're in this phase. Now we are on stage 3. On stage 3, it's when discipline feels so quiet, right? So here usually is when things become very repetitive. As I said, you wake up, you do this, you go back, so you sleep, you wake up, you do this. So things become very repetitive and really boring. Like really, it's boring. Right? It's, oh god, even my laughter sounds so weird. But anyway, it is very boring in this moment. You have to keep doing the work. Consistency doesn't feel exciting. Your discipline doesn't feel like good anymore. It feels more like a chore, right? But then again, if you're in this phase, you have to understand that and learn that discipline now shouldn't be attached to emotion. Emotion, I mean, you shouldn't, continue on and do what needs to be done only when you feel motivated. You have to do it regardless of the feeling that you're experiencing. This is why discipline here will become like a responsibility. It is your responsibility to wake up and do what needs to be done. You take it now personally. It's something that you need to do it even if you don't feel good about yourself in this moment. Even though you don't feel the energy to move or to get out of bed, you still have to do it because this is your responsibility. Now we get on stage 4. On stage 4 is when there's a gap between effort and result, right? So usually when you're in this phase, you feel like, what's the point of doing this anyway? I mean, I'm posting, and there are no followers. I'm posting, no one is liking my videos, or I am putting an effort on the business. I'm, promoting my products. People are not buying. What's the point? What is the point, right? This is where now doubt starts to creep in. You start to wonder if you're really moving in the right direction. You start to wonder whether there's any point of really putting in effort. You start to wonder whether you are really doing what really needs to be done. You start to feel like maybe this is not cut out for you. Maybe this was the wrong vision. Maybe you didn't think of the right things. Maybe you should stop doing this. Maybe you should just give it all up. This is that phase. But I want you to understand this, that usually when uncertainty grows, it really means that results feel delayed or results are just delayed. It doesn't mean that they're not coming, they are just delayed. So don't give up too soon or don't give up while you are almost there. That's why I say that it's a gap between your effort and the result. You're just in the middle, you're not yet there, but again, you're not at the starting point where you started, right? Or you're not really at the starting point. So this is not a moment where you're supposed to give up. This is a moment where you need to keep reminding yourself why you started this. Why did you start this in the beginning? Why was this so important? Remember all the effort that you've been doing and the little wins that you've been experiencing along the way. Those things are going to carry you on to continue even though you don't see any results, right? Now we go to stage 5, and on stage 5 is feeling alone in ambition. This is a moment where you feel like you are alone in this. You feel so lost. You feel like people are not there for you, right? You consistently share with them the vision that you want or the vision that you're aiming for, and now that they don't see any results on the outside, they don't pay attention to anything that you say because they don't see results. And usually, again, when you're in this phase, you try to explain your vision and people will never really get it because Your vision is ahead of your environment. Remember, your vision is ahead of your environment. This is why people don't understand you when you say that you want to be to earn 100,000 pula every single month, or you want to earn 500,000 pula just from your business. That's why people don't understand, because it just sounds so foreign. It's just a number that they just feel like you're just making things up, but you have seen it in your mind. It's something that God put in your heart, right? You saw it and you know that this business that you have started is something that can get you to that goal, can get you to that area, can get you to be that person who gets invited to TED Talks, get invited to, you know, to speak, to be interviewed for a particular magazine that is very popular. But people don't get it in your area or in your environment because it's just too out of that imagination. Like, it's just, it sounds so foreign. That is why you feel alone in this phase, because people won't understand you. And again, as much as they don't understand you, you won't get any encouragement. You won't get any encouragement or any boost or any support. It'll feel like you are by yourself. But then again, it doesn't mean that you should give up on your endless phase. It just means that sometimes ambition drives you to grow out of the environment that you are in. Sometimes your ambition will lead you to lose some people in a certain phase. Sometimes your ambition will teach you that sometimes some people are meant to be left behind because they're not like at a level that you want to be at. Because again, remember, birds of the same feather flock together, right? If you associate with people who don't, you know, think like you automatically start to think like them, because now they will start to overpower you, right? So now there's a moment where you realize that sometimes you have to shed some people and really start to walk this journey by yourself and meet the people who will help you to get where you want to be in the long run, right? Again, note this: as you are shedding those people, it doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means that they're not here to where you are in this moment or where you want to be. And it's not really wrong. It means that the moment they get to where you want to be, maybe you're going to meet again or maybe not. Like, that is just how life is, right? You have to learn to grow as you are in these phases, because you are consistently changing. You are consistently changing. Remember, there's a phase where now I said you are learning to understand that discipline has to become your responsibility, not something that is fueled by your motivation. You have to understand that sometimes people won't recognize the efforts that you're putting in. That means you need to validate really yourself, right? So those things that I said, in a nutshell, they make the quiet phase of ambition. They make the quiet phase of ambition. And again, as I said, every single part that I talked about, I highlighted what you needed to understand and learn. And also, I want you to understand that it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. Like the seed that I was talking about, it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. It just means that things are growing internally, right? You're just in your transition moment. You're just in a moment where things are slowly changing. It's not a visible change, but it is happening, right? There's a moment where you need to really be the one to validate yourself. Be the one to really give yourself the applause that you're seeking from other people. Be that one person who keeps pushing yourself to do it. To keep reminding yourself that why did you start this journey from the beginning? Why did you start this? These are the moments that will help build your character, will help you that as you move on to the next thing that you want to achieve, after achieving what you want to achieve, you now understand what it takes to really achieve success. You now understand that ambition is not fireworks. Sometimes there's a part of it where it's fireworks, but there's another part of it that is just quiet and then just boring and repetitive. is where now the work has to really happen inside of you, where now you have to learn that you have to be a better person to really get to where you want to be, right? Remember this, when you are in this phase, you are usually between the person you were before and the person you are becoming. You're slowly going to the person you are becoming. This is why I say it's a learning phase, or it's a phase that, you know, gives back into you, teaches you something, so that when you finally get to that person that you want to be, right, or the person that you're becoming, you have already developed those skills, so that when you go on to the next thing, you go on with the knowledge that you got from this phase, because you're going to meditate something that happens once. It happens so many times, especially when you're this person who consistently try to achieve great things in life. So don't take the quiet moment of ambition as a sign to give up. Rather, take it as a sign to learn and build yourself and build your character, and learn the people that you're supposed to roll with, and learn the people that you're supposed to leave behind. Not that you don't love them, but because where you're going needs you to be with someone or with people who are going to help you navigate the phases that are necessary for you to achieve what you want. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. If this video really helped you a lot, then press the like button, subscribe, so that you can see more videos like this and learn about things that people don't normally talk about when you're going after success or the vision that you have. So yes, thank you so much for listening to the video, and also share with me in the comments which phase you are in right now, which phase you are in. I would like to really know, and how are you navigating through it. So yes, thank you so much. I'll see you on the next video.